I really enjoyed it. I'm not really much for games that primarily have PvP aspects to it, just because I'm like a 30-year-old boomer and I'm absolute garbage at them nowadays. Like,
I
don't worry. As
understand.
soon as you hit that 30 mile, that 30-year-old mark, it's gonna start going downhill.
I
It's
already feel
it's
it.
just it's just a
It's
given.
yeah.
But for it to be like a PvPvE type of game, and the only time the PvP aspect really comes into it is towards the end when you're both trying to close out the victory. That was really solid. Like that was like everything I wanted out of Gambit and Destiny 2, but actually done right.
I never heard of Gambit. I know you guys were referencing it during the stream. I thought before going in it was purely PVE. Like I was describing it as Left 4 Dead meets dinosaurs. I had no idea there was
That was my
PvP. Yeah.
take on it before I like looked into some Steam reviews before we started, and I noticed people were talking about Gambit. I'm like, all right, so there's going to be like PvP in addition to it, and I was pleasantly surprised. All the suits that you're able to play feel really good. The abilities are solid. Murasame, what was it? Murasame, right? I think that was the one I was playing the most.
But
That was.
the most the one you mean the only one you played the sword guy?
Oh, I played the guy with the minigun towards
Yeah, for
the
like
end, and that turned
yeah
out pretty
once.
well. And we actually clinched that one out.
Yeah, that
But
was
that
awesome.
it was everything in that felt good and satisfied. The movement is still a little clunky, as far as I know,
Right. Yeah.
but just a whole just mow through some dinosaurs and then make the other team's lives miserable. It was amazing. I would absolutely be happy to play that once that comes out of beta.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting to have that much fun with it. Granted, I don't know how much fun I could have with it with strangers though. I feel like there, to some degree communication is key,
Mhm.
especially towards the end. Because if like no one wants to be a healer, I felt like we got screwed more often than not. When I wasn't healing or someone, we didn't have a
It
healer
also didn't
properly.
help that I got a little thirsty on the kills
Yeah,
there.
yeah, a little like Rob, come back, and you're like just I killed them
I
all.
was
It's like,
I was just living my best life. I was mowing them down.
we're all like getting destroyed by these T Rexes and Raptors, and you're just
Yeah, but I got a
slicing
kill
this.
streak though.
Right, yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, it was super fun. I like the layout that it's really the very end is PvP, and that might not even happen unless like that only happened because we were able to catch up to the enemy. Like
Mhm.
it's round, it's like pseudo round based or phases. It's phases, right? That's the right word.
It's
Like,
like phase based, but you can get an edge on the other team, and you can start completing your objective
mhm.
faster than them. Which
Right.
it brings me to my next point. With it being just that mode strictly being just like objective based, I thought really played into its favor. So not only do you have to contend with an objective, but you have to contend with the other team trying to make your life miserable. Like A1. That's good stuff. That's the
Right.
kind of stuff I like to see.
And then you can
The only thing I would probably suggest. Sorry to cut you off, by the
yeah,
way.
they're good. Yeah.
Uh, the only other thing I would want to see out of Exoprimal once it actually launches for real is like a pure PVE game mode, or like something like maybe like a horde mode or something like that that
Right.
we
Yeah.
used, or how we used to get those, and they were amazing, and now we don't get them anymore, and I'm just full of sad and want.
I thought it was yeah, like I thought it was gonna be a purely horde game, and then yeah, like there's one round that has a horde mode to it where it was just like unloading raptors on you, and you're like in that narrow tunnel. I
Oh,
thought
that was
that
so
was really
cool.
that was really fun. It was like I was
That was fun. I was literally front and center in the blender, just having fun.
I
It's
was
just
genuinely
mm,
surprised that Derek and George could handle it in terms for their PC. They're way lower spec than ours. Yours is higher spec than mine. Mine's like 2 3 generations higher than theirs. I was surprised. Like there's a lot on screen. Like
there was I for what it is, even for that being an open beta, that was optimized really well.
right. Yeah. I mean, like there was the movement that was like there could be some fine tuning to it, but other than that, like it handled how many was on screen at one time very well. I got a few freeze moments, but I couldn't really tell if that was from the beta or my computer. It might have been beta, but we'll see. I'd rather play on console anyway for this. Um, it like I'm hopeful for the game's release because they have great opportunities to add more. Well, they need to add more enemies. I think I want to see a little bit more enemy variation. You know, because it was like what just
Definitely.
it was like raptors, pterodactyls that were like small, The I don't Bronco is it Bronchosaurus? The one with like the shield face? That or is that
Uh,
the tall neck one? I don't know my
oh God,
dinosaurs.
Bronto is the long neck one. I think it was like a
Oh,
Pachycephalosaurus or a something or
right.
something like that. I don't remember paying attention to names all that much. But
And then there's
yeah,
like a
I
T
would
Rex.
agree. Definitely, I'd like to see more dino value out there, especially since, listen, you've got a whole entire era to pick from. You can do more than like 7 or 8.
Not to mention they could also like do like half robotic, half dinosaurs.
Ooh,
I
that's a good one. I like that
I think
idea.
they could do that. Also, we didn't mention they also have this cool invade mechanic where you basically become a dinosaur in the enemy's game and like disrupt their flow, which I thought was
I
pretty
didn't get to
interesting.
do that, but I bet that was so cool. I remember you getting that on the last one, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. So we won the last one from it, but I think I'm pretty sure we fought against invasions a few times. So you just weren't able to play.
Oh, definitely.
You just didn't pick up. Well, you were too busy slash and everything. I was picking up like the usable walls, the dinosaurs that you could, or the T Rex in this case. I don't know if you could be
That's on
anything
me.
more than more than T Rex. I had a lot of fun with the Gatling guy, but we need a healer, so but I really like the healer because there was like three of them. One was like a generic like Mercy from Overwatch, but the other one was a
Mhm.
gunslinger where you went from like dual pistol mode to the healing with the dual pistol. And it was like you switched on and off. It felt really fun. I was like I usually hate playing healers, but I could see myself mating that character. And I just like the mech suits in general. I thought they were all pretty clean. They weren't like ugly, you know.
No, it was giving me big Warframe vibes, and I already gelled really well with Warframe. So coming to this and seeing the same kind of thing done here, that was it was awesome. I would
Yeah,
gladly play this.
yeah. I definitely want to play it again. We just I know it was what teams of five, right? We always got a rando. That was
Yeah, it was teams of 5, so we were stuck with a rando or we were stuck with a bot. I think it was the one we were down one person. We ironically did the best.
right. That explains a lot. I don't remember off the top of my head what the release date is though. You don't have to know that, do you?
Not off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Release date. It's just 2023. It doesn't have
Was more
uh
ready for that Battle Network collection that's
Uh,
coming out in April.
we can talk about that on another segment. I'll get in too much of a tangent for
Yeah,
that.
you know what? We'll get into it too hard. I understand completely. I overstepped. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
um, yeah, and it's gonna be fully crossplay, which is really cool. Like matchmaking throughout the whole thing. So yeah, I'm very excited for a game that's like it's unique. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's well, I already said unique, but the fact that it's the first in its not genre, but in its series, like it's not like
Mhm.
a sequel to anything like that. It's literally like, what if we just made dinosaurs a horde mode and PvP? Like no one thought of that yet for some reason. Like oh okay, like I like that. I don't know. I was I wish I got to play it more because it was open all weekend, but I was away for the weekend other than Friday. So yeah, I'd give it like a from what I played, I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I want to say. I mean, there's just some small details, but I just think the only thing that's going to hold it back is if you have friends to play it with. I think it's not going to be as
Oh,
fun
definitely.
if you're just with strangers and they're just like holding you back because they don't. Also, I want your opinion on this. Well, besides the score, but do you think they should play it where it's like you match make into a role? Like like you pick 2 out of the 5 roles. Like you want to be either assault or medic. You know what I'm saying? Or do you think it should just be whatever goes?
I don't know. I kind of liked how chaotic it felt when it was just anything goes.
Right.
I feel like they would need to implement roles because let's be honest here. If you've got the roles already in place, you kind of got to stick to it. So I feel like as long as there's like at least one like attacker, one tank, one
Mm.
healer, then at least with those requirements filled, then you're good to go. If they're enforcing it that kind of loosely, and then the other two can just go where they're needed.
Or at the very least, add it for ranked if there is one. Like, because if it's like casual, then I guess it doesn't really matter. Even though it's really, it's like it's for fun. But in
No,
ranked,
but for ranked,
yeah.
absolutely.
So what would you give it then? At least in its current state.
In its current state, out of everything I saw there, honestly, I feel comfortable giving that a solid 8. The movement was probably one of the bigger detractors for me because sometimes I didn't feel like I should be moving as either quick or as vertically as I could, I guess. But I guess I wasn't playing the right characters for it. But otherwise, no, everything else was solid. I just like to see more PVE content out of it, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a solid 8 from me.
There you have it, folks. It's basically 8.5 out of 10. So it's a good time. I'm hoping there's another beta, but I want to see this game come out sooner than later because it was pretty fleshed out what we saw. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty excited for some Dino Left 4 Dead Robo Ninja Warframe action.